Oh, that was hilarious. So you guys missed it. So Devon shows up like at 6:01. And then and just barely. So I'm like, dude, we gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. So I already pushed the intro, and then we start talking, having a conversation. I'm like, dude, we're not live.
Oh man, that was
good
great.
times.
That was absolutely great. That could have not have been any funnier. That was
no, I that's hilarious. I'm like, it figures.
Right. Gotta love technology. It was destined to happen.
So you're in a dorm. You're so student housing. You're not off campus or anything.
Nope. I am in the upperclassmen dorm halls again for my last little bit of college. So last little bit of living in the student dorms, hopefully. But
now, is that because of the scholarship you have?
Yes. Yeah. So as student athletes, we have no choice. We have to live on campus for our entirety of our college experience for as long as we're an athlete. So
well, that is an experience.
Yeah, it is fun. I enjoy certain aspects of it for sure. Kind of just the camaraderie of living around kind of, a group of guys, especially because we've got a lot of my teammates who live in the same dorm hall. Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun.
I'm going to get into all this. I have so many questions for you. It's been Absolutely. I swear, I'm so excited that we're finally talking. We have time because you and I were like, right when I started the company, you and I connected really quick. And
right.
I mean, you made me taste the worst steak known to man. So
the best steak. Don't get confused now.
So why don't we stop and hurry and say hi to everyone before we get into it? So
Absolutely.
E, what's up, man? Thanks for joining.
What's going on, E-Rock?
Hey, Ellie, do you know Ellie at all? Have you seen her around?
Yes,
She's a huge supporter of the community, huge supporter of Copper Johns, and appreciate it, Ellie. E does have a question for you. It's like, I hope Cole got permission so he can be here.
I got her permission. Don't worry.
Do you know Ellie at all? Have you seen her around?
Uh-oh. Wait, there we go.
Okay.
It'll be good. There we go.
I hate hearing my voice. I told my wife, I'm like, I have one of those voices that is like high pitched low. So like I hate my
up
voice.
Up and down.
I know, right?
We all hate ourselves on camera.
I should just talk like this the whole time. I'm like, hey, Steven.
That could work. That could work.
Light FM 100. No, there's a Spanish channel in Houston. I always used to. I'm like, más música menos hablando, solamente aquí, Houston.
Man.
All right, we got Steven. What's up, Steven? Dude, he's a stud. He's all the way out in Ireland, Scotland. Sorry. What's up, Josh? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Emo.
What's going on, Emo?
I got to meet Emo. I don't know if you know that or not, but
yeah, I saw that.
The guy is legitimately just a friendly, good person. Like
I believe it.
And then we had our live like we are right now, and
right,
dude, he has stories up the wazoo. I want to get him back on, and I'm kind of booked until mid-January, so I'm going to have him on again so he can tell me more.
That'll be fun.
So what's up, Dagan? Appreciate you coming, man.
Hey, Dagan.
Then we have Daniel, the bearded, no longer the apprentice.
No longer apprentice.
Yeah. He'll actually be on the Copper Lodge next week. And what's funny is we scheduled at the same time where I'm going to be on his show on Friday. So it'll be a fun weekend of me and Daniel.
Right. Very cool.
What's up, Bruce City? Appreciate you joining us, man.
Thanks for stopping in.
All right. Let me scroll through those guys. We've got Nicholas. Hey, Nicholas. Appreciate you coming. Mel. Haven't seen Mel for a while.
I know. It's my adopted mom.
I know.
Hope you're doing good, Mel.
Yeah, she's awesome. I actually I talked to Ken not as much as I'd like to, but I get to, and so still scrolling, scrolling. Apologize if I missed you guys. We got Vinnie.
Oh yeah, Vinnie, what's going on?
No, that's Emo.
That one was Emo. There he is.
What it do? Tyson, my favorite person ever. Dev, my man, had to stop in and show some love to my brother from another. That's Absolutely. Awesome. Appreciate it, Vinnie.
Of course, Vinnie. It's good to see you, man.
All right. That's all that I see right now. I might have missed someone. Oh, we got Jason Klein. I'm at IKEA with the missus. Just stopped in to say hi and give a thumbs up. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Appreciate that.
And then who was that stranger on the screen with you, Tyson? It's been a while, which I'm going to ask you a couple of questions on what's going on in your life. But why don't we get started a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we only like to go about an hour, but what's up, Alan?
Hey, it's going on.
Appreciate you joining us. Yeah, you have been missing in action. So why don't you tell everyone a little about yourself and who you are? Because I assume a lot of people might not know who you are.
Yeah, no, I think there, especially newer people in the community, might not know who I am
And
because
there's
I've been
quite a few
pretty,
too. We're
yeah,
growing.
I've been pretty behind the scenes and kind of MIA the past few months. So those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Devon. I also run a YouTube channel known as Beardcode. So I post lots of beard related content on that channel. But of course, I'm also a college student. If you guys couldn't tell from the dorm room I've got in the background. So I'm also a college student, triple majoring in psychology, biomedical sciences, and biology, with the plans of hopefully going to medical school starting next fall. So kind of been busy.
Have
I
you
also
taken
play
the MCAT yet?
basketball. Yes, I took that last spring.
Am I allowed to know what you got?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind. I got a 5.10, so
I don't know what that means.
it was pretty good. I was really
good for
impressed.
you, man. So
Yeah.
have you got any offers yet?
So
Have you been applying yet?
Yeah, a few different schools. I got into KU Med. I found that out actually a few weeks ago, which is
So Kansas,
really,
right?
really awesome. Yep, Kansas University.
Dude, shut up. That is so cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm a diehard KU fan, so getting the chance to like go watch home basketball games at KU if I was a student there seems amazing to me. So that's kind of been my dream school. I've also
Dude, you never announced that. You need to announce this crap because that is so cool.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been a busy few months, as far as finishing up applications and applying and stuff like that. So that's been taking up a good majority of the time, which is part of the reason I haven't been present here as much. Hey, what's going on, JP? But yeah, so got in, was really excited about that. I've applied a few more places and they're kind of on the edge, finishing up as far as if I'll get in or not. So a couple schools out in Florida, and a few schools back home in Colorado.
What about University of Utah?
Actually, I think
they're like really high end.
No, they are really, really high up. I
Yeah.
actually thought about it. I actually have one of my professors here he did his undergraduate study at Utah, and he loves it, and he still has a few connections. So that's another school I might apply to here in the next few weeks.
I'm just saying, then you could start practicing here, and you could be my my physician.
Right.
And we can make it awkward.
that'll make
I got to that age where my prostate does need to be examined.
Right. Yeah.
Did they say 40 or did it change? Now that I made it awkward for everyone.
Right. Yeah. I know it changed recently, but I don't remember exactly what it changed to. I think it might have been even younger, honestly.
Oh, really? Nice.
I think. Yeah. But
the worst thing ever.
I'm not a doctor yet, so don't take any medical advice from me. I just want to put that out there.
Dude, but Devon, no joke. Like even Ken and I are proud of you, son. You need to inform us more often on your big news because this is huge news.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't planning on talking about this, and this is so cool.
Right. Yeah. No.
So what type of medicine do you want to go into?
At this point, I'm thinking one of two routes. I've been thinking orthopedic surgery, and for at least the first handful of my years of my career, maybe the first decade or so, I think I want to specialize in trauma. So it would be a lot of school and a lot of training. But
have you ever thought about joining the military for that specific reason, where they pay for your schooling and you get that experience?
I have. So my younger sister, I actually have two younger sisters, but the older of the two younger ones, if that makes sense, she's actually at the Air Force Academy and is planning to do the same thing. So she's going to stay in the Air Force as she continues to go to school to get all of her school paid for, and then wants to do medicine that way.
So you guys are going to be taking care of your family for quite some time. Like Mom, you're good to retire. Just come hang out with us.
Yeah, especially once my younger sister gets through. She's 10 times smarter than I am, and she's got all of the beauty in the world to go with it, and she runs track. It's crazy. But
so you're athletes and smart. The whole
athlete. That's smart. Cool. So she's gonna finish debt free. I'm gonna finish in quite a bit of debt. So I think Mom and Dad are probably banking on her if they ever fall sick or something crazy happens early. But hopefully that won't happen, and I'll be able to make a little bit of money and pay off some debt before anything happens. So I can take good care of them. But
not too much debt. I mean, like if you do the Air Force, you'll be debt free, or Army or the Navy or the Marines or whatever. I mean. Trauma, I mean, they need those, and you guys learn a lot. Then afterwards, I mean, you're making a lot.
It is. It's going to be, like I said, it's a lot of specialty training. So I would pretty much start just as your general kind of orthopedic surgeon, and I would have to do a lot of specific ER training as far as during residency goes. So could be anywhere between another 5 to 8 years of just residency training. So it's a lot.
I tell you what, I'm grateful there's people like you because I could not walk. And then I keep telling my kids, I'm like, no, when I got my knee replacement, and I'm like, no, they cut my leg off just from the inside. No, they didn't. That I'm like, no, they did.
Yeah, no, it is some crazy stuff that goes on. I've gotten to shadow a few orthopedics. I got to watch an emergency hip replacement.
Oh, wow. Emergency hip replacement?
Yes, it was a weird situation. So I guess they had some sort of trauma going on beforehand, got into a car accident, and there was some sort of femur something that was going on. So they kind of rushed in. They had already had this hip replacement, planned out, but because of the car accident situation, they wanted to move it up to get it done pretty much as quickly as possible, or she wouldn't be able to walk. So, but just watching, I mean, it's just bone flying everywhere, and you hear the saw. I'm just like, wow, like this is intense.
What's up, Kevin? No, so my mom had chronic pain since my brother was born. Something with her nerve ending in her groin area on her hip area, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong. They tried electrocution. They tried to they got to the point where I'm like, hey, should they just snip off the nerve?
Right.
Where she won't be able to walk, but she won't be in any pain. That's how bad it was. Like she was on some heavy narcotics and almost killed her because she decided she didn't want to do it. So she stopped cold turkey. And my mom, the doctor's like, you don't do that.
Yeah, no.
and she had all these problems. And then all of a sudden, they decided to go to her hips started hurting. So they went in and they like, you need your hips replaced. And when they went in there, they found that a nerve was in there just being sawn to get off. And so they were able to repair and move that. And so now she's pain free. And I'm just like, dang,
that's amazing.
If it wasn't for orthopedic surgeons.
Right.
So, so everyone's saying Army, Air Force, Army.
Right. Yeah. I've got a little sister who's in the Air Force. So I think I've got a little bias in that direction, but
see, and I work on base for the Air Force. So I love the Air Force.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
So I'm an Air Force, so we're tied too.
Right.
So, how you been, man? What you been up to?
Yeah, so I've been good, man. Life has been great. I cannot complain too much. Aside from the dining hall, of course, that's far from great. But I mean, it's food that I don't have to cook, so I guess it saves me some hassle.
Oh, I do have a question.
Yes, absolutely.
And this just came to my head. I didn't have this plan. Okay, so I follow football, collegiate football and stuff like that, and I see like you go to like Ohio State, the freshman was going to go sign on for Texas. He decided he couldn't get any type of, because Texas is that way where they can't get any money for their recognition, their facial and all that stuff, their likeness. Right. So he went to Ohio State and he signed an agreement with a dealership or something, makes $1 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you get that benefit? Are you a millionaire? I'm just joking. I'm just joking about that. But have you seen a benefit from that?
Yes. So this year's kind of been a little bit of not necessarily trial and error, because it's all been sorted out as far as the legal side of things. But for a lot of college athletes, like I said, this is our first year really getting to partner with different companies for, advertisement work and where we can profit off our name, image, and likeness. So a lot of us have kind of been like just trying different things. Some people have gone the route of kind of having a middleman that kind of helps navigate those sort of things, so more like a manager type of deal.
So your coach or your it's not the commissioner. What's the guy who's in charge of the sports guy who's in charge of all the sports?
Our athletic director.
Yeah. He doesn't do any of that for you?
So they do bits and pieces. So our team, the way our school has it set up, is that the basketball team is free to go out and look for companies or businesses that want to partner with their athletes, but they don't necessarily have to do that. So our coach did one where a few of us have been partnered with a dealership here in town. And it's a smaller town, so we've got different companies that all kind of know the basketball team, and we've kind of worked with them. So a few of us have done some endorsement deals and kind of like advertisement work, for stuff here in town through companies like that. But we can also go out on our own hunch and just say, hey, if there's a company that you really love, like it's Body Armor, there's one sitting right there, I can reach out to them. Now, if it's a huge company, you might not ever hear back, or if it's a smaller company, you might have a better chance of hearing back, but you never know. So, and you can just kind of go out of your way and trying to find companies on your own that want to partner with you. So,
let's talk after this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's definitely talk after this, but
for sure.
What I've heard mostly, like, so I follow, Utah, BYU, Utah State, Weber State. Weber State just beat Washington, the number 2 team in that, that category. on the red field, and I thought that was so cool.
It was.
Weber State's actually freaking really good this year. I mean, they lost to University of Utah barely. They were with them, but the depth showed at the very end. But what I hear on sports radio and stuff like that is there's a lot of collegiate athletes will just go to a restaurant and say, hey, do you want me to come sign autographs? Say, hey, the players are here, and then they'll offer you free food, like a daily dinner or something like that. Is that something that happens?
Yeah. So
because you're talking about dining hall, I'm like, dude, I'm sure you can get food.
Yeah, we do. So we actually have there's a Mexican restaurant here in town that sponsors a few of the athletes, and they've worked it out, same sort of deal where they'll come and they'll take pictures before games or.
So you all weigh 300 pounds now?
Yeah. There was a few of us who have taken good advantage of the fact that they like to feed us. So, but yeah, it's been really cool. I think, there's so many benefits that can come, not necessarily just the monetization aspect of it, but just getting to work on go Space Force.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Ben? But no, it's been just really cool. There's a lot of benefits, especially that, if it's companies that you're working alongside that you yourself actually believe in. So it's some really cool benefits kind of getting to work with either owners or, media relations teams and stuff like that for different companies. Is kind of cool. And you kind of help form and they establish some really cool connections. We have an athlete here who, speaking of it, Body Armor actually has an open link. So they opened theirs up and asked student athletes are saying, hey, anybody who wants to partner with us, we're willing to work something out. We'll send you out some body armor. We can do some things. Just reach out to us. So they put you through a verification kind of process as far as your NCAA registration goes. And if you're verified, they send you out some stuff. So I had a teammate who did that, and he actually ended up working his way up and is now getting ready to go be an accountant when he graduates, working for Coca-Cola and Body Armor. So
since my son is #1 fan, does he get to sign a poster of Devon?
You know what, E-Rock? We need to talk. Actually, reach out to me. I know you're still on our IG, but we might be able to work something out. I actually have a few posters left over from an autograph session that I did a couple weeks ago. So
really,
yeah, I have one.
Do you have I know it sounds weird, but do you have fans that are like legitimate Devon fans?
Yeah, there's a couple. One of them is my foster mom. So here at the school, we set up a foster program with the basketball team. So families here in town, they kind of adopt 1 or 2 players. They invite us over for dinner. And I happen to have the absolute best foster mom that's probably ever existed in the history of the world. Miss Joyce, she's like 87 years old and she loves to make lasagna. So I eat a lot of carbs. That's all you guys.
No, that's what I'm saying. Between the Mexican food and lasagna.
Yeah, it's a good thing we run as much as we do because I eat a lot of carbs. But it's been cool. So she absolutely loves it. So she's like one of my biggest fans. And actually one of my professors, she has an adopted son from Uganda named Deacon. And he is the absolute biggest fan of mine. He paints number 21 on his cheek for all the games, and he even has a little replica jersey that we got made for him last year because he loves to come down in the locker room and he gives us a pregame talk and he carries the balls and passes out water for us. But he's my little guy. He's my stud on the court. So
no, that actually sounds pretty cool.
It's cool.
Yeah. So do your parents ever get to come watch it, or your sister or anyone?
Yeah, my sister at the Air Force Academy hasn't, aside from my first year when she was still a senior in high school, just because she's busy. She's got
Air Force is Colorado Springs, right?
Yes, yep, right up on the north end of Colorado Springs. So she's still about 7 hours away from me. So one time I actually got to go watch her run at a meet in Kansas City, which was cool. But she hasn't been able to watch me play just because she's busy with Air Force duty and track practice and all that kinds of good stuff. So, Mel. Let me check on that. I know there's a way for us to get fan replica jerseys. I just have to talk to Coach about who I have to go through to get it. So I'll figure some things out. I'll pull a couple of strings and we'll see if we can make that happen because that'd be really cool.
Right. So you being part of basketball, you being part of school, you being in the dorm and getting the full effect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever think I stayed in college dorms ever. We could be wherever we wanted, to be honest with you, just as long as it was approved by the school.
Okay.
But what have you learned about yourself? What have you learned, not being on your own?
Yeah. So one thing as far as me is I'm a huge procrastinator. And so having a mom who was very on my butt all the time in high school, I realized that I probably procrastinated a little bit too much on certain things. So That's been kind of one thing that I've learned about myself and actually started to work more towards. So I, was one of the people who I never wrote anything down because I swore I never forgot anything, and then was always surprised I never forget anything.
And then you forgot about this.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And you forgot about this.
Right. And so, I started to write things down and kind of keep track of things as far as goals and just what I need to do for the day. And that's kind of helped as far as my productivity, I think, throughout the day. It's been really cool to kind of watch that grow, especially looking back at like my freshman year of college to where I'm at now. It's like a night and day difference. So that's been really, really cool. I've also kind of opened up and come out of my shell a little bit more. I was a really big introvert. I'm still a pretty big introvert for the most part, but having to, like my freshman year and this year, I have a roommate. So my 2 years that I served as an RA, I didn't have a roommate, which I absolutely love because I was always by myself. But just being in a situation for a couple of years where I had a roommate kind of forced me to open up and at least talk to them, because otherwise it's just kind of weird for both of you guys. So kind of come out my shell a little bit more, which has been good. I think it'll be really good for my future. If I'm going to be a doctor, I should probably be able to, talk to patients and not just sit there with the scalpel in my hand and ask if they're ready. So yeah, it's been cool to kind of help me, grow out of my shell a little bit. And one thing I've also learned is that I absolutely hate grocery shopping. It is the worst. I hate it. I am so appreciative.
Why do you think we always want a list? Like, we want a list, give it to me, I'll go buy it, then I'm done. I hate shopping. I hate just looking for stuff. I'm like, oh, where are we going to buy it? No, then why the freak are we looking at it?
Yeah, that's
like, I don't get it.
Right. Especially where I'm at out here. So I'm about an hour away from everything. So it's if I'm going to go grocery shopping, like I've got to make an effort. Like I'm going to stop. I've got to fill up with gas to drive an hour, and I'm making a list because I'm not going back. And there's no need to drive an hour to simply look. I don't know, I might find if I'm not going for something, I'm not driving an hour because it's an hour there and an hour back. So
I will actually go out of my way not to go to Walmart. My wife's like, hey, will you go to Walmart and get this, this, and this? I'm like, nope.
Right.
But I'll go to Smith's, or it's like a Kroger's or like Smith's.
Yeah. Same exact thing. Yeah, Kroger's. It's the Kroger store.
Yeah. I'm like, but I'll go there. I'm like, but it's more. I'm like, yeah, but it's worth spending $3 more than not have to deal with Walmart.
Right. I don't blame you. I hate Walmart here and back home in Colorado. I hate Walmart. So I will spend, if it's an extra $1 for a gallon of milk, I don't care.
It's the truth though, because I get to the point where I'm like, it's my least favorite place in the world. But there's some things you have to get there, but most part, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Ken hates grocery shopping or grocery store with a passion. 99% of the time I'm going. See, and I try to be supportive, Mel. I actually go shopping, I would say 45 to 55% of the time. Okay. But Candace doesn't like it when I go because I'll just get whatever. She'll say get milk, and I'll just grab the first milk I see.
Right, no, that's not the right one.
But okay, you said milk. You didn't say what specific brand and what specific.
Right, you had to get the one that was third from the left row and all the way at the back. I'm just like, nope, I can't do it.
That's hilarious that you figured that out. And what's cool though is you learn about procrastination. I mean, that's a big deal, especially I would imagine going to med school,
right?
And then also you like what you're doing right now and what you've been doing, the creating process, with your YouTube videos and interacting with people like that, with Zoom calls and stuff as a doctor is going to be beneficial. I'll tell you what though, and the word of advice from me. Now, not everyone's like me, mind you. I would say no one's like me. I'm weird. But my doctor, my family physician that I'll take my kids to and stuff, he is the most personable person I've ever talked to as a doctor. Like I'll come in and he'll start talking about me about Copper Johns. He actually bought from me. He'll go and all this kind of stuff. And next thing I know, 20 minutes have passed and we haven't even talked about why I'm there.
Right.
And I think that's kind of cool. So, but some people are in and out and they like that too. So,
right. Exactly. There's two sides to every coin. So,
all right. Has Code played the broke college kid card yet? Yes, he has.
Yeah. Look, I'm out here. It's been nice. I'm no millionaire by any means, but some of the benefits that have come from the name, image, and likeness, and us being able to profit off that this year alone have been really nice. They, there's some things that they can do to kind of take care of some college kids.
So are you starting now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And what position?
I'm starting right now with the shooting guard spot. The past last season, I was starting as our one guard, so I started at the point guard spot. And for about the second half of the season of my sophomore year, I was also starting at the point guard spot. But this year, we brought in a JUCO transfer, and that kid is one of the closest things I've ever seen to Kyrie Irving with the ball. So there's no need.
But he got a shot, right?
Yeah, he did. We had to. So. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been a little bit of a transition, kind of moving to play the 2-guard spot primarily this year, but I think it's a better fit for me overall. I was never supposed to play.
Remind me how tall you are.
I'm 6'2", so I'm not super huge. Especially at the college level, you typically see 2 guards that are about 6'4". That's really where you start to kind of see most of your 2 guards at least. But I've got some pretty big hands, long arms. I'm quick and athletic, so I can kind of play with guys who are a little bit taller than me. But it's been fun. I think it suits my play style. I think a little bit better to play the shooting guard spot than the point guard spot overall. So,
well, good for you, man. That's awesome. Yeah. So tell me about the recruiting process. How did these guys find out about you, and how did that all work out?
Yeah, so that is a funny story. The day and age as far as recruiting, I think, are a lot different. Even if it's just 10 or 15 years ago. But my father went through a much different recruiting process that I did when he was being recruited to play college basketball. So at that point, all of the emphasis was put on high school basketball. That was really where you tried to, that was where you really had to make your impression, was during high school basketball. And then over the summer league stuff was just kind of to stay in shape. Mm-hmm. Now it's the complete opposite. It is all about AAU, which is like your travel system, your travel basketball. That's where all of the recruiting process is done for the most part. And they play these huge tournaments where thousands and thousands of teams will be at one city at one time. And you all go play in these huge gymnasiums and these huge sports complexes in front of all the college coaches pretty much in the country. They all fly out to 1 or 2 cities each weekend. And so I've been in Vegas when I think there was almost 500,000 high school basketball players there at one time.
Holy crap.
And when I tell you, it's huge and everybody's in Vegas. We did this every year from the time that I was about 11 or 12 till I was 17. And that's where all of your recruiting is done, because that's how they find you. It's a lot easier for them to go recruit, 300 AAU teams at one time in one city, as opposed to having to fly out to all these different places. And so a lot of it's done that way. A lot of it's also done online now, because you've got video clips, and then you can instantly email any college coach that you want as soon as you find their email online.
And that's actually a huge business. That's a booming business where people, the videographers will come out, film you. They'll grab all the stuff that the coaches have, make a highlight reel, and send it out. That's actually big business.
It's huge right now. They are actually paying a ridiculous amount of money. Videographers are realizing that it's so important and there's such a high demand for it, that just to get work under their belt. I got a text or a DM about it on Instagram about 3 days ago. There's a videographer who wants to open up and get a bunch of the local college basketball kids around the Wichita area. So guys from Wichita State, we've got guys from Washburn, a few of the other small Division II schools around Wichita. And he's going out there. He's paying for everybody's travel costs to come play in a high school gym for an afternoon, and he just wants to film everybody.
Wow!
Make highlights so that way he can show people, here's the highlight I've made, and I can put that together. I'll come film you at your high school game, and I can put together a tape for you based on your highlights. So yeah, he's actually offered to pay us and feed us all the other day, and so we said sure. So that's kind of how big that's becoming.
There's members of the college, Utah and BYU and Utah State. They have kind of joined forces after they graduated and created trainers. Right. They have trainers. They have consultants for getting to the next level. They have food people, like what are they called? Dietitians. They have dietitians, and then they have the coaches, and like with the trainers and all that stuff, coaches on top of that, they have all the equipment to come work there. And on top of that, they have the filmographers and stuff, and the people who do all that stuff at the same time. And they are making a ton. And I'm just like, dude, I'm just like, man, I got in the wrong business.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
That, or I need to learn Java, because people who know Java for some reason make a lot of money.
That too.
So you're going to decide when you graduate, you're going to decide which college you want to go to. Do you have anything particular? Are you for sure going to KU, or is that like top of your list?
I think that's probably at the top of my list. Obviously, a big portion of it is going to be the financial aspect as far as where can I afford to live and feed myself while I'm in school.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
probably
they
going to
pay
have to
you
work.
like no joke in postgraduate? They usually pay you some type of thing, you know.
Yeah, typically, yeah, you're getting paid, especially for a lot of doctoral programs, because it's essentially a 9 to 5. Most programs are not set up like your undergraduate, where you might have like 1 or 2 classes on Monday and like no class on Tuesday or Thursday. It's pretty much like you're there 9 to 5 all day long, just learning different classes, and everybody kind of on the same
No, it's
schedule.
a full-time job. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so typically it's like I said, a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. They give you the weekends off. Some kids end up taking that weekend to study because you're probably going to need to be studying as much as you possibly can. Others, depending on their financial situation, will work like a weekend job. So you'll see a lot of like bartenders, waiters and waitresses, those type of things where it's, quick, easy money, hopefully, as far as like tips and stuff like that on weekends. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. I've looked into taking like some bartending classes just to kind of work as a bartender on the weekends while I'm in medical school to hopefully, like I said, feed myself and do those things.
Don't you have to be 21 in order to be a bartender?
Yes. Yeah. And I know I'm only about 13 according to Grandpa Chris, but hopefully by the time I graduate, I'll have an ID that says 21, whether it be real or fake. So,
but
yeah.
Right now, are you still do you still work for the coffee shop?
Yes. Yeah. Right now.
And what got you into coffee? Because you love coffee.
Oh yes, that we
like when everyone talks about Cruz loving coffee, I'm like, he loves coffee, but I mean, Devon loves coffee.
I am a coffee fanatic. That's an understatement. I can tell you all about different grind sizes based on what type of coffee you want to make. I can tell you all about your blends and seasonal origins and flavor notes. And I am a coffee snob. And looks like my camera battery might have died. Hold on, give me 1 second here. I think you guys can still hear me. Is that right?
Well, while you're doing that, we've had a lot of comments that I haven't purposely skipped over. So we have Benjamin. He loves Shawn Camp, dude. I remember Shawn Camp. He was a stud. For the Sonics. Yeah, that guy, man. But come to find out, he had like 20 children.
Yeah, a ridiculous amount.
Yeah,
okay, no judgment here.
Ellie, did you have I don't know what that word is. Kamikaze shoes?
Oh, the kamikaze shoes.
Kamikaze. Yeah, that's how you spell kamikaze. I didn't know that.
Yeah, those were the Shawn Camp basketball shoes back in the day.
I just remember, was it D Brown who had the Reebok pumps?
Yep.
I remember those where you just went pump it.
Good times.
Oh, and careful, Cole. That's how abductions happen. Free food. Just get in the van. Hey, what's up? I don't know, David, if you remember Devon, but he's here, kind of. There he is.
There we go. All right, we're back. Battery pack died.
All right. So what got you into coffee? Because what's your favorite coffee? What blend from who? All that kind of stuff.
Ooh.
Because I know a lot from coffee just because talking to Cruz when we were in New Orleans, he just loves Bustelo. I don't know why.
No, it's not. It's not bad actually. But I got into coffee. So we started school ridiculously early. When I was in high school, we were like one of the earliest starting high schools in the state of Colorado. So we started at 7:15.
Oh, that is early.
Yeah, super early. And so I used to get up before school and go to the gym to work out, and then would shower and get ready for school at the gym, and then drive to high school all before 7:15.
Oh, you didn't work out at the gym in the school gym?
We were not allowed to, because they were wanting to. We were allowed to do it if it was a team thing, but most teams and coaches, if they were teachers, they couldn't really be up that early or didn't want to be up that early. And there's not a ton of gym time before. So yeah, I just to kind of get some work in on my own. Hey, amen to that. I started working out on my own, which got me drinking coffee at a really early age, just to kind of help me get up in the morning after working out. And then it became an obsession. And I really started to get into coffee about my senior year of high school when I first started working as a barista. I thought I knew coffee, but it was just kind of like a whatever. I knew the difference between like a light, medium, dark, but I wasn't by any means a coffee snob. And just working more and more with coffee, you kind of get more and more into it. And you just, there's a huge, just like.
So do you order in or do you just take whatever you can?
Yeah, so I actually am a part of a subscription service where they mail me small batch hand roasted coffee every 2 weeks. So it's
So
from
as
all
everyone
these
would say,
different
"Oh, you
brewers.
bougie, you bougie." I can't say it.
Yeah,
I sound weird saying it.
but yeah, it's a really cool service. You might have heard of it. It's called the Trade Coffee. So they do,
I
like I
have
said,
heard of it.
yeah, they can actually they'll go through based on how you like to cook your coffee, whether you want it pre-ground or not. What flavor palettes and notes from coffee that you like, and they'll mail you these, an individual selected bag for you based on your preferences every two
Wow.
weeks or every month if you want. So I do that. That's where I get most of my coffee.
So do you put anything in it, or is it just straight up black?
Honestly, it just depends. I will drink it all types of ways. Sometimes I will make espresso. Sometimes I'll make like an actual cup of pour over. Sometimes I'll just put it in a drip machine. Sometimes I use my mocha pot or AeroPress. It all just is like a
Wow.
mood thing
So
for
it's
me in
just
the
what
morning.
you're in the mood for,
Yeah,
and what
and
you have your hands on.
yep, each form is different. I typically buy whole bean coffee and I grind it myself. I've got a grinder that allows me to like really
Oh, that's
specialize.
cool, Mel.
That is very cool.
That is really
Yes,
cool.
I believe it. My mom and my older of my two younger sisters went out there and they absolutely loved the coffee while they were in South America too. So yeah, it is kind of like wine tasting. Yeah, you get various kind of just like nuanced flavors, and the more and more you kind of get into it, the more
Tell you
start.
what, that's the best. That is the best aisle in the grocery store is walking.
Yeah,
And it does. It
right.
reminds me of my grandpa and all that kind of stuff. Because I love that
Absolutely.
smell. It smells
Yeah,
so good.
I'm just a huge coffee snob at this point. I will sit and talk.
And look, when you're an
hours.
orthopedic surgeon, then you deal with trauma. I mean, dude, you're
Right.
going to be able to afford any coffee you want.
There's actually some very, very expensive coffee out there. There's like coffee that actually comes from, it's digested by elephants, and then they take the elephant poop and essentially filter out the coffee, and the coffee beans, and that's the coffee that you drink. And it's some of the most expensive coffee in the world. It's about $1,000 per cup. It's ridiculous.
Wow. So
Yeah.
does it keep you up for 24 hours during?
I'm hoping that it's going to turn my whole entire body into gold or something.
No, I mean $1,000 for a cup.
Yeah, it's ridiculously expensive.
Who would have thought? I should just own an elephant then.
Yeah, right? No kidding. Just say here you go.
So do you have so you have a 5-10 year plan and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to get into medicine? Because I mean, I wanted to get into medicine. I was going to take the MCAT. I was shadowing doctors, and I was actually in the ER working in the hospital and all that kind of stuff. And there was a lady who came in. There's two things that I just couldn't handle. I'm grateful, mind you, I'm 100% grateful that people can do this because I can't.
Right.
The first one was a kid was playing with a propane tank and it exploded. And his whole body was burned. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, this is not for me. And the doctor's like, oh, you'll get over it. I'm like, I don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, it was horrific. Yeah. And then the second one was an elderly woman who was getting a mammogram. And I just like, nope, not for me. Not to be mean. It's just like, I'm just so grateful that there are people who are willing to do that stuff. And but what made you want to do that?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. So I actually never wanted to go into medicine. I knew I kind of wanted to work in healthcare a little bit, but I always kind of envisioned myself as like either a PT or like an athletic trainer, kind of doing something like that, where it's a little less traumatic, I think, sometimes, but you're kind of still doing things to kind of help people get back to whatever kind of state that they were at previously. Yeah, that was a pretty awkward conversation. Yeah. Welcome, of course, but yeah, so even before that, I always wanted to do something like engineering. I'm a math and science nerd. So the thought of like, doing math all day long and me being a nerd that way and not having to talk to many people was really kind of pleasing. So as I kind of fast forward, I went through a knee injury in high school and I worked a lot with physical therapists, my athletic trainer, and of course my surgeon who kind of did my surgery. So I kind of worked a few things when I, partially tore my meniscus and dislocated my kneecap. Yeah, it was not fun, not at all while triple jumping. Don't recommend doing that to anyone. But yeah, so I kind of got to work through, I think, all three levels and get a really good kind of experience as far as what each one would offer me. And so now I kind of want to do the same thing, but I feel like as a doctor, that's where you can really make the biggest and kind of most immediate impact. And sometimes there are a lot of process and steps that you kind of have to go through before you might have to reach with a doctor. But I think it's a really cool way and a really personal relationship that you can kind of develop in a quick time. Like you said, you know, you go see a doctor for a checkup, and after a few times, he's talking to you for 20 minutes, and you guys haven't mentioned healthcare at all.
Well, and you have that personality. I always say this. There's certain individuals that I know that I'm just like, man, I wish I could talk like that. You know what I mean? It's like I don't have that talent. I'm not an introvert. I love talking to people. Right. Just ask anyone who was with me. Everyone kept saying, "Shut up!" You know, like
talking.
Yeah, no, so like, I'm sorry. I'm just
you haven't run out of words yet. Like you just keep going.
No, but then there's people who are like, "Oh wow,
right."
Like he has that science down. Like he has that ability, and you're just like, man. Just talk to me more. Just talk. And but I wish I had that. But you have that, and you have that ability to be able to explain exactly what you need to in a way where people are going to listen. And you have that personality that's kind. So I think you're going to be a perfect, and you're smart. So
yeah, that's what they keep telling me at least. So my mom, she might tell you a little bit different depending on what kind of mood she's in and how I've acted that week. But
English code is the best scent of any beard oil, respectfully.
I appreciate that truly. Hearing stuff like that absolutely makes my day. That was a passion project for me, that portion that I was involved in at least. Tyson did a good majority of a lot of the beauty behind that scent. But so hearing stuff like that, just hearing that people have enjoyed it at all is really, really cool to hear. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a unique scent. It's one where you explain to it exactly what you want, and I'm like, okay, I think I can do this.
Right.
And we only had it adjusted a couple of times. It was a really nice.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad thing, and I think the whole process of kind of going.
Just so those who know, like Mark, there's a lot of people who weren't a part of the community. So English code is mine and Devon's collaboration. Just so you guys are understanding.
Yeah. So that was a scent that. Me and Tyson, I kind of went about it a little bit different than I think most collabs are kind of done. A lot of times they have a general idea. Hey, Brett, I appreciate that.
Brett's a stud.
He is. Brett's a good guy. He's actually not too far from me. So Brett, we need to make a meetup happen while I'm still out here in Kansas before I graduate, because that'd be a good time. So
that would be fun.
But yeah, so I kind of went about it with the approach that I didn't necessarily like, I want to do a tobacco scent, or I want to do a fruity scent or whatever. I went at it kind of with like a mood and an envisioned kind of image in my head that I kind of wanted to replicate when you smell it. So I kind of gave Tyson that image, and that was in my head. It was hilarious because it happened while I'd been outside walking my dogs right after it rained, and just kind of that fresh kind of that you get right after it's done raining. That's kind of the image that I had in my head. And I said, I want a scent that smells like that, and kind of told Tyson, here you go. And he absolutely ran with it. He had a few ideas. We bounced a few ideas back and forth, and ultimately landed on what became English Code. And it is without a doubt one of my absolute favorite scents ever. I love that scent dearly. I wear it all the time. That's what I've got in beard right now. It's a scent that I just absolutely love. Had to give my dad a bottle. I love it so much, just so that he could.
I remember that you asked for it. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, it was really cool. My dad finally grew his beard out about a year ago now, so he's had that for a little bit. And so we kind of got him using some good products. So he skipped the terrible Amazon and Walmart product phase that most of us kind of go through.
I think everyone, including me.
Right. Yeah. I did it. I think a lot of us in the community have done it. And then you find Dan and you find Scuba, and you end up down the rabbit hole, and here we are. But yeah, so it was cool, that he got to experience that. And it was kind of cool just because, something that I made. So it was really special to me. And so that knowing that he's now taking care of his beard, and then he enjoys it. And he kind of is using something that is special to me was really, really cool. So it was a huge passion project. I can't take too much credit. Tyson was the mad mechanic and the
I forgot to show this.
Oh, everyone. No worries. Yeah.
This will go on for the rest of the night. If you use Beardcode, which is his, let me make sure that just while we're talking, keep talking.
Yeah.
And I will make sure that your discount code is 20%.
Awesome. But yeah, so like I said, it was just really cool. It was a cool passion project. That was actually my first and only collab that I've ever been a part of. There's kind of been some ones that are, working in the background, but for now, it's the only official collab I had, and it was the first one I did. So it was also the first one for Tyson. I know that, which was really cool for both of us to kind of journey into that venture and that realm together. So really cool passion project. Like I said, I absolutely loved it. I think it turned out great. There was a lot of great feedback. I know a lot of people still really enjoy that scent. So it's been really cool just knowing that people appreciate something that you put so much time and effort into.
And it really is a lot of people's favorites, and it's just so unique. It's dark. You have that little burnt sensation and all that with the orange, and it's almost musky, and it's just it's a really intense but good scent. I don't know how to explain other than that.
There's
really nothing like that.
I need it in air fresheners and car bombs and wall.
I'm going to be making it a candle, just so you're aware.
Yes. Oh, I cannot wait. That's what I've been waiting for. So I'm a huge candle fanatic too. If anybody didn't know, there's a 99% chance that there's a candle lit in my room at any given time. And so I've been waiting for that.
So just so you're aware, for a little college guy, not little, but if you guys are planning on getting anything, just use his code today for Beardcode, and you'll save 20% out at checkout.
Absolutely.
And yes, I said orange. They make fun of how I say it.
Orange.
It's orange.
Hey, it's all right. I think it's all right. As long as it's blue and orange for the Broncos, then we're all good.
So, yeah. So, Mark, he says, what's your code? It's actually right there where it says Beardcode. Oh, wait, is it Beardcode 15?
15, yeah, 15.
Ah, bummer.
No worries.
You had me all nervous, right?
I started to second doubt myself too. I'm like, wait a minute, am I going? No, I don't know. I was like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember.
No, you're not wrong. It's me. All right, let's do that. Is that right?
There we go. Now it looks right. Cool. But yeah, appreciate it. Hey, Aaron,
what's up, Aaron? I have to call him Aaron now. I never call him Aaron. I'm like, hey, what's up, Aaron? Just how it's like Devon.
Tyson.
What's up, Casey? Appreciate you coming, man.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, did you say English candle? Yes, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so we kind of briefly touched it, a little bit about you coming into the community, how you found scuba and Devon, or you're Devon, Dan. So what kind of got you involved in the community at first?
Yeah, so at first, I've been growing a beard out, which is funny because I never wanted to. I wasn't against facial hair, but I just had tried before and was kind of too young and was real patchy and didn't fill in great. So I just kind of rocked the goatee, and I rocked that for a long time, from I think like 16 until I think about my freshman or sophomore year of college. But out here, like I said, we're so far away from everything that the closest barbershop was about an hour and a half away. So me going every 2 weeks to the barbershop was not a reality anymore, because I was not going to spend the money on gas, especially when we were broke college kids. So you pick and choose the necessities, and unfortunately, sometimes a haircut has to wait. So would wait, and actually didn't trust myself enough to line up my goatee in between haircuts, and so just kind of naturally let everything grow. And I think I matured a little bit, got a little more testosterone in my veins, I think, and was actually able to kind of grow a decent looking beard that filled in. I said, you know what? I kind of like it. So next time I went and got my hair cut, I had him just kind of clean it up, but kept the beard, and fell in love with it. I've got a baby face without facial hair, so just having a beard, I think, makes me look a little bit.
Yeah, one day you're going to have to post a picture of what you look like without a beard.
Right. It's going to be, I probably won't recognize myself. If I ever had to shave for work or something, I don't think I'd recognize myself.
I told my kids I'm going to shave, and they're like, no.
Right. Yeah. There are some people who are absolutely against me shaving. They've told me if I shave that there's no more, I don't get to hang out with them. I'm not friends. Any of that.
So are you planning on returning, so to speak, to the community eventually? Or
yes,
is this pretty much I go to college, and then I go to college, then I do some more college, then I start my job, and then I go to college again?
Right.
Like,
no,
what's your plan with that, with your channel?
So the plan is to hopefully get things really up and going and revamped. When I finish this semester. So I'm actually I'm graduating in December, but I won't walk in graduation until May. So I'll actually be done, but our semester is over Thanksgiving week. We get to go home. And if we have any finals after that, they're all online. So I'm planning when I go home I'll have a lot more free time because there's no more basketball. Unfortunately, I'll be done, obviously, because I'm graduating, and there will be no more school for the most part until I start medical school next fall. So I will have about an 8-month stretch where things should be absolutely consistent because I won't have much to do or to fill my time with aside from creating content and stuff like that. So definitely hoping to do that.
I know everyone's asking,
do
you still have the girlfriend?
Yes.
She's still around.
Yes, still around. Yeah, I know.
And what's going on there?
Yeah, so it's been a crazy ride as far as, us being so far apart, but just, through willpower and I think, love for one another, we've been able to make it work for the most part. So so she's still back in Colorado, going to Colorado State, and I'm still obviously in Kansas finishing up, but when I graduate, I'll be moving back home to live at home until I start medical school. So it'll only be about 2.5 hours between us as opposed to the normally 9 or 10 hours that it is between us for the most part when we're both at school. So,
and then when does she graduate?
Yeah.
When does she graduate?
She will graduate not this spring, but next spring. So,
okay. And then is she going to move up with you to school?
That's the plan. She also is talking about going to law school. So she's going to kind of look around. We've talked about, what schools both offer medical and law schools or are somewhat relatively close. So hopefully, we can make something happen and live together or, get married or whatever life might have in store for us. So no wedding.
You guys, you've been together long enough where this has to be talked about.
Yeah, it's been talked about. It's definitely been talked about. We've talked about kind of getting engaged and what kind of happens and when we want to get married. Both of us, for the most part, and what we have planned, have quite a bit of school ahead of us. So we're not really wanting to rush into anything as far as getting married because that means more money and more expenses. And neither of us have a ton of money, particularly right now. But who knows? The next couple of years, if I'm working and saving up some money and doesn't necessarily have to be the most grandiose wedding. If we're ready and we feel like it's time, then, even if it's just going to the courthouse and we celebrate later or something like that. But yeah,
all I know is when Candace and I got married, I think I had $528 in my checking.
Right.
That's it.
Yep. And so, yeah, I think, she I know her pretty well. She's got a real big dream day kind of envisioned in her head with, she wants to wear 2 dresses and have lots of people. She's a social butterfly. So
you got to wait till you graduate from medical school, be practicing for 5 years before you can afford it.
Right. Yeah. If it's up to her, we'll like rent out Buckingham Palace or something and get married there. And she'll have, 3 dresses and some swans will pick her up and deliver her and like all kinds of crazy stuff. But yeah, she's got expensive taste for sure. But
she's marrying the right guy, it sounds like.
Yeah, hopefully, right? I hope between her lawyer money and some doctor money, she can hopefully afford to live the luxurious lifestyle she likes to enjoy. So,
all right. Well, so with your beard, what advice have you gotten that's good, and what advice have you gotten that's bad?
That's a good question. I think this is going to sound kind of weird at first, but I think all advice has to be taken with a grain of salt just because, like we've all said and we all kind of understand, everybody's beard is different. So I think there are truly, genuinely people who give you advice that truly did work for them and they think is going to be for you and work for you because it worked for them. But everybody's beard is so different that it's kind of hard to follow every bit of advice that's given. So I don't necessarily think any advice out now, if it's like pour gasoline into your beard and it'll turn really soft, like that's probably bad advice. But I think everybody kind of offers advice for the most part that genuinely is good advice, just coming from them and here. So again, I take that kind of to say, I don't think any advice is necessarily bad advice, just might not necessarily be the best advice for you personally. But one of the best things that I kind of heard that ended up working out really, really well for me was how to utilize conditioner and or leave-in conditioner. Hey, what's going on, Brian? It's good to see you. So for me, I know some people are very much for conditioner. I know Brian is very much, he doesn't use conditioner hardly at all, really. But for me and my beard, if I went 3 or 4 days without conditioning it, my beard is not happy. It's just super kinky and very curly and coarse and kind of nappy at times if I don't condition my beard. So I've had to find a conditioner routine that works really, really well for me. And part of that includes using leave-in conditioner, which is actually something I've kind of got like a little series. Once I have time to actually sit down and breathe and film, of course, But I've got a bunch of videos planned talking about how I kind of use leave-in conditioner, and some kind of videos kind of talking about that sort of topic, just because I don't feel like it's one that's covered as much in our community.
It's not
kind of something that I want to kind of help add some 2 cents into. I know some guys that use it, but again, it's not something that's really covered or talked a whole bunch about, I think, in our community. So I've got some plans and some videos that I want to do with leave-in conditioner. But that's been one of the biggest game changers for me. That, and of course, combing my beard in the shower. That was something that Dan, I think, turned a lot of people onto.
He did, and you do every angle and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's been fantastic. I absolutely cannot imagine going back to not combing my beard in the shower, because it's made that much of a difference for me personally. So yeah,
that's so cool. So what trends, you being involved as much as you can be, what trends do you see, or what trends do you want to see in 2022?
I think one of the trends, I think, obviously, that we kind of say each year is just kind of originality. You want to see companies that kind of innovate and come up with something unique or different. A lot like what Copper Johns did. This isn't a plug by any means. This is, honest opinion. Especially when you kind of made your first appearance on the scene, you kind of immediately kind of set yourself aside and set yourself apart from everybody else with ion and sea minerals. And so I thought that was really cool. It was a really unique innovation, and you've done some really unique sense to kind of even build upon that and brought in some new really cool products. So it's been cool to kind of watch you innovate and change and kind of fill gaps that people might not necessarily even know that exist. Until some of these things have kind of come about. So it's been really cool just to kind of watch that. Of course, I want to see just more. I don't know what that might be. I think, CBD at one point in time was the big kind of thing that everybody moved towards. We've seen like the emu and the ostrich oil. We've seen a lot of different things. It could be, I have no clue. It might be putting bleach in your beard. I don't think Dan will agree, but that could be something that has to, be that ends up being a trend for whatever reason. I don't know. But like I said, ultimately just want to kind of see companies kind of continuing to be, innovative and unique, and kind of creating something just unique and special. So
what's the biggest gripe that you have with the industry?
That's an interesting question, actually. One I think would be
someone wants you, man. Someone wants you.
Right. I know I don't know who.
They've been calling. Did you put a sock on the door?
I should have, the college memo over the university. But yeah, like I said, one of my biggest gripes is just, I think a lot of companies push out a lot of stuff really, really quickly. That's from a business standpoint, might be, some pros to that. There might be some cons to that. But for me, and I think both as a consumer and as a content creator, it can almost be hard to keep up with everything that's going on when you've got, 4 or 5 or 6 different companies that are all dropping, multiple cents every couple of weeks or something. That can be a lot to just kind of comprehend, and you want to try everything. But it's just a lot, and you're kind of like, okay, where do I go now? So again, I think it's a good thing that we have so many options, but again, sometimes it can almost be overwhelming, especially the deeper and deeper you kind of get into the realm of the beard community. You want to support everybody, but there's just a lot going on. All right.
Yeah, it's hard to.
And so, yeah,
I do my best. I think I bought from 3 companies this week.
Right. Yeah. And that's
just because I want to personally support my friends, because these owners become my friends. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And there's
talk back and forth. And
and there's still, I've still done lots of ordering, kind of, a little more quietly and behind the scenes. Obviously haven't posted too much about,
and still can't believe you haven't got my stuff. They better be there tomorrow.
I know. I'm almost positive it is, because I think we have like a little forwarding email system that comes from the post office here in town that says like, you got a package that's estimated to be delivered here in the next couple of days, and it doesn't show you who it's from. It just tells you you've got stuff coming. So I think that's what it is. I'm hoping it should be the first thing tomorrow morning, but right. No kidding.
Yeah, this is true, because there's some beard butters that have wax. There's some that don't. Same with beard balm. What percentage needs to be wax and then beard wax?
Right. And that's something I think it was. I think it was Dan who had mentioned it at one point in time. Just setting like an industry-wide standard that says anything with plus or minus this much % of beeswax in it is considered a balm. This is now butter, and this is now wax. Just because, like I said, there are a lot of companies where some might advertise as a beard balm that's more like a butter, and bacon scented oil. Yeah, not a bad idea. I'm still waiting on like a well done steak and A1 scent combination to come together. But
You're so dumb.
no companies have taken me up on that challenge. I'm willing to make, we can work it out. If we need to figure out some details, we can make it happen, find some fragrance oils. But if anybody's out there watching and wants to do a well done steak and A1 sauce scent, then you've got my permission.
And dogs won't even want to wear it. And they love meat.
I might be the only person who purchases it, but hey, that's one sale I can guarantee.
So what would you offer? Because we're getting to that time where and we need to wrap up a little bit, but what would you like to offer any new beardsmen out there that is watching this, that they might be going through struggles, they want to shave it? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think two things. One, I think, is just kind of be comfortable in the uncomfortable. And I say that to kind of mean just embrace the awkwardness. I think all of us start kind of getting into the community and have like a beard goal or vision. You want a beard like Dan, or you want to have a beard that looks like Scuba or whoever. And so I think all of us kind of have this envisioned beard. And so sometimes it can kind of be discouraging when you see guys that have that beard that you're striving to get to. But you don't know, they've been at it for years. You don't know when they started growing their beard. You don't understand. They might not even what they're going to be. So just kind of be okay and comfortable in the uncomfortable. Everybody goes through the awkward stages where one patch is longer than another, and maybe you've got some uneven growth while you're trying to grow it out. We all go through it. And the biggest critic of your beard is always going to be you. So I promise you, nobody's probably thinking the same things you're thinking to yourself, but there's no need to worry. We all go through it. So yeah, exactly.
before not that I would judge anyone, because I don't do that, but I would look at people and I'm like, okay, if it was me, I probably would shave that. And then I start growing a beard myself, and I'm like, I don't have a special beard. I'm like, I would love to have like a Dan beard or a Matt from Beard Law's beard or something like that, where it's like super thick and you're like, dang.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like even down here, I mean, you got some good hair down there, and I just rock what I got, and I feel like that's the best we can do. And now Absolutely. I'm just like all about that. Like, dude, nice beard. I just say that to everyone, and then peers will punch me and say, dude, shut up.
Right. But no, yeah, I think that's the fun part about it is obviously everybody's, even if you look at content creators, everybody has their own style. Everybody kind of has their own flair or pizzazz. Every beard is different. And I think that's the part of just what makes us unique and individual. Some stuff's going to work for you, better it's going to work for others. You're going to like certain scents better than you're going to like others. And it might be vice versa if you ask somebody else, but everybody kind of has a unique and individual perspective. And I think your beard is a part of that too, that you bring to the community. So I tell everybody, if you enjoy your beard, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Now the wife, she might withhold a few kisses or whatever if she's not happy with the beard. That sounds like a personal problem to anybody.
Yeah, like my wife does. My wife loves my beard.
I'm thankful that the women in my life, they all enjoy the beard. My mom, my sisters enjoy it, the girlfriend. So nobody's harping in my ear to shave it off. But yeah, and that's another great 100%. Point,
because it will just grow back. That's what I say. A bad haircut is just a couple of weeks away.
Right, exactly. There's times where you kind of have to experiment. I didn't know. I had long curly hair for a long time, and one day I said, you know what? I wonder what I would look like with a short fade, and cut all my hair off, and I had no idea, if it was going to be good or not. And luckily, it ended up working. So,
really?
Very true, Brian. Very, very true.
But see, I decided to rock a mullet, and my wife loves it. And I'm like, should I shave? She's like, no, I like it. And my kids hate it. So which makes it even better.
It's like a 2-for-1.
Yeah. My daughter, who's 15, she's like, Dad, you're going bald. And you want to use the rest of the time you have hair with a mullet. And I'm like, yeah.
Are you sure you want to do that?
And then my son just got a mullet, my oldest, and he's like, my daughter again, just like, oh, he's so ugly. I'm like, hey. But all right. So at the end of the shows, I always, first of all, does anyone have any questions for Devon? Or Devon, do you have any questions for everyone? That type of thing. And then I like to do some would you rather questions. And I thought some really good would you rather questions for you.
Perfect. Yeah, no questions. If you guys have any, feel free to ask. I'd love to answer any questions you guys might have. I know
because this is rare to have Devon.
Right. Yeah. I have not been on screen, I don't think, anywhere in a few months at least.
And this has definitely been fun to catch up.
Right. It has. Absolutely.
And at the beginning, it was eventful.
It was, I figured for a comeback, why not? You got to show up fashionably late and in a flurry and then not go live like we anticipated to do. But hey, it's all fun and we're here now.
So Corey asked that he came in a little bit late, but it sounded
Mhm.
like you were going to get married.
Yeah, Corey. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a possibility. Still have the girlfriend, and we've kind of talked about wedding bells in the future. So nothing's official. We're not engaged or anything like that. No plans of any official date, but we definitely talked about us being together and getting married at some point. So we're both just in a weird situation, trying to finish school and being 9 hours apart and stuff like that. So
yeah. So Candace was in southern Utah, and I was in Idaho when we were going to college, and we decided just screw it, we're just getting married, and that's
right.
what happened. So she lost her scholarship and she moved up to where I was, and 6 kids later, and it'll be 19 years in 2 weeks.
Man, that's awesome. Congrats. That is incredible.
Yeah, so
sounds
I've
like it
definitely
was a
been
great
blessed.
decision to make. It sounds like it. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, we laugh every day, and there's been hard times in our life, and all that kind of stuff, like everyone has. But as you know, living away, it's not the easiest thing. But we have found ways, like the hard times, we've pushed through them. We've and it's not because of me and her and our decisions where we're fighting, but the circumstances that were around us that made life hard. Does that make sense?
Right.
We've always been good, but we've pulled through our trials, so to speak, and it's definitely made us stronger. And man, do we laugh. It's so much fun.
Laughter seems to be the best healer in a relationship, I think, at times.
Yeah, I mean, do we have heated discussions occasionally? I wouldn't say we fight, but we have, like, what we're going to have for food that night. I get hungry.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
I bet. No, I can get the same way, especially if I'm really hungry and she cannot figure out what she wants to eat. I'm just like, this is gonna get really ugly very fast if you don't make a decision. And she, bless her, she's pretty indecisive, but we laugh a lot, so I think that's part of what helps us, work things out as far as being so far apart. We laugh quite a bit. So, and
it's also, being secure in you as a person. Like, I've noticed there's a lot of people who go through issues them personally that actually weigh on their marriage because of what they're personally going through. And so I think you as a person have to be secure yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And make sure you're good so that you're not harming your partner.
Right. Absolutely. I think that's, true in any relationship, but especially with us being so far apart. If I can't be secure in myself and secure in our relationship, being 9 hours apart is not going to make that any easier for either one of us. So.
No, and it's not her responsibility to make you happy.
Right, exactly. And
that's one thing I think I learned quickly. It's not my wife's responsibility to make me happy. It's my responsibility.
Absolutely.
So what makes me happy? And I'm like, actually working makes me happy. Being with my family makes me happy.
Right.
Fishing makes me happy. And she loves all of that. And so we enjoy doing things together because she enjoys it too.
That's awesome.
All right. You ready for these?
Yep. Let's do it.
All right. First one. Would you rather quit college basketball or eat a medium rare steak with blue cheese melted on the top?
Oh, man. Look, if you would have asked me here in about 6 weeks when I'm done with the semester, I'd say no more basketball because I won't be a college basketball player anymore. But since now I'm still technically a college basketball player, I think I got to eat the steak. I got to enjoy every last bit of it while I can.
Because you don't like blue cheese either. This is my steak, medium rare with blue cheese. Like Dagan, Diablo Bearded, who's in here, David. They saw me eat it. Like, it's my thing. Dave, by the way, that's so awesome. Congratulations, man.
Very cool. Yeah, I saw you guys all got to meet up at Texas Roadhouse. I would have been the weirdo who ordered a well done steak and not cared what anybody else thought. But that was really cool. But yeah, I think I've gotta inhale. I'd eat the whole thing, honestly, if that meant that I got to keep playing. Because I love basketball. It's a huge part of me and who I am.
It is.
So yeah, I'd have to suck it up and eat the steak, I think.
Dev, what's up?
Hey,
dude, he sends some hilarious videos. See, he goes, it looks good. See, he knows what's up.
Hey, look, to each their own. I'm not gonna order it on my own free will at any time. But hey,
would you rather be famous or rich?
Rich for sure. One, if I was rich, it means I don't want to. If I can be rich without being famous, I'm an introvert, so as little people and paparazzi and fame as possible is good to me. But two, I think being rich would allow me to kind of use money to give back and do a lot of things that I want to do. It's part of the reason I want to get into healthcare is to kind of work out a system where I can use my practice to give back to people in areas where that might not necessarily be as affordable. So if I had money to kind of help out, and I think sometimes you can help out in ways that don't necessarily require money, but money is obviously a really valuable resource in today's society. So, you can do some really cool things to give back. Like Mel said, you can do some really awesome stuff and just travel the world. I think would be so cool. There are a lot of things that, money isn't everything, but there are definitely things that money allow you to do. So me being an introvert and allowing myself to do some things financially, that would be really cool. I think I'd have to be being rich over being famous. No people, no paparazzi.
Yeah, I think being rich and being well off, you exactly like you. I want to get a cabin and I want to do giveaways instead of saying, hey, get a free beard oil, which is awesome. And I love doing that. But I want to be like, hey, why don't we win something special and come a trip down here and I'll take you fishing and we'll do all that with your whole family. I think that would be fun.
That'd be super cool.
All right. You ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Would you rather kicked out of school or eat a rare steak with blue cheese melted on the top?
Oh, man. The steak is back again. Yeah. Man, I think I've got to go with the steak again. I've got some big plans that require me to go to lots of school, so I can't, especially 6 weeks from finishing my undergraduate. I can't get kicked out now.
No, right? Would you rather be able to travel anywhere for free or eat everywhere for free?
Ooh, I'm going to say travel for free. Because I could still go eat anywhere I wanted if my expense is paid for as far as how I have to get there. But it also, food's a lot cheaper than buying plane tickets. And the few vacations I've gone on, last summer was out in Florida with some friends. We can eat pretty cheap when you're a college kid. You find ways to make hot pockets last.
I remember when Candace got married and I'm like, oh, this is really good. She made us dinner one night, like right when we got married. It was tuna helper. And I'm like, oh, as soon as I found out it was tuna, I'm like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I can make some money stretch when it comes to dining as a college kid. So if I could travel anywhere, there's so many places I want to go travel. I think it would be something extraordinary to be able to travel anywhere for free. Exactly. It's a lot cheaper to eat than it is to travel. So
yeah, I would travel. I love traveling. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's just it costs a lot of money. For Christmas, we decided this year for Christmas as a family, we're going to for our Christmas presents, we're going to do an experience rather than presents.
Very cool.
We're debating on whether going to a Disney park like California Adventure and Disneyland, or actually going on a cruise. And
okay.
So, but my daughter's like, well, do we get to go to an exotic land? I'm like, does Mexico count?
Right. What's your definition of exotic?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right. No, that's super cool. My family's actually talked about doing that. We were actually going to do that this December because I'm graduating.
Yeah, you're graduating.
Graduate early. We were going to do like a kind of crossover, like a Christmas vacation present for the family and also celebrating my graduation for my undergraduate. We were going to go take a cruise to Jamaica.
Oh, so that'd be fun.
So that was the plan. I think we're actually going to end up going this summer, though, instead. It's a little bit easier to work out for my sister's, scheduling for the Air Force Academy and stuff like that, for her to be able to come with us in the summer instead. So
I think my favorite cruise we ever did was the Grand Caymans.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
So we hit lots of islands and stuff, but like we went to we snorkeled a place called the Hamburger Alley. Okay. And it's where at night all the restaurants will throw all their leftovers into the ocean, and the fish will just gob it up. And so in the day when you snorkel there's just fish everywhere.
That's really cool.
And and you look and there's barracudas, they're sleeping because they're waiting for the meal, and all this. It's just really, really cool. I love it.
I bet that'd be awesome.
All right. So next question. Would you rather have a mullet or eat a medium rare steak with blue cheese melted on top?
Honestly, I've thought it's funny you talked about this, and we were just kind of talking about how just a haircut at a couple weeks of being awkward. But I think I would. So yeah. But I honestly think I want to see, just out of curiosity, what I look like with a mullet. I'm just genuinely curious. Like,
I just got to say this right now.
Everyone.
Everyone with the mullet looks better.
And so, yeah, I respect your opinion. So I don't doubt it. I think there's a couple dudes who look really good with mullets.
So
I don't know
I'll
if I'm
be driving my truck. I'll be driving my truck, and I'll just be doing this. And I'm like, the people behind me probably think something's going on.
Like,
I'm just like, but I love the hair. It whips and hits my ears. I'm like,
you guys just don't understand.
You just don't understand. This is just wonderful.
It's a lifestyle. You're not a part of it. But now, I honestly, that one, I think just for the experience, I think I'd rock a mullet just to see what it looked like. Could be good, could be really bad. I don't know.
What is going on? What did I miss? Mr. Bullwinkle?
I must have missed that too.
Is that me? Because when I do this,
maybe I'm not sure.
All right, next question. Would you rather give up your phone or only wear Crocs for the rest of your life?
Oh man. Yes.
See, it's your personal phone, so you'd be able to go and use a payphone or whatever if they're still around.
Okay.
But you wouldn't be able to ever have a personal phone. However, I will give you this. You can have a pager.
What if is social media excluded? If I have a tablet?
No, you can't.
Nope. Okay. Nope. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Crocs then. I think I do too much as far as people I talk to and relationships I formed with people through social media and stuff today that I don't think I'd be willing to let. And I love Twitter. It's a funny and hysterical and awful place all at the same time, but I really love Twitter.
But also you're going to be a doctor here shortly. And so Crocs are part of your life, your future life.
That's true. That's true.
I swear every doctor I ever see is like Crocs or
I know a lot of
nurses have Skechers.
Yeah, the nurses love the. Yeah, my mom and all the nurses at work, they all love the Skechers and the Crocs, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not. They love gibbets, and they've got their little individual, like little scrubs and the like the stethoscope gibbet, and I'm like, nope.
And good. They all have their like little watches that are a pedometer, so they can see how many steps they've taken.
Everybody's got their Apple Watch, and they're all competing on the different fitness apps to see who can be the first one to hit 10,000 steps in their shit.
See, and you get to be involved with that with your Crocs.
Right. See, maybe I'll have to. It's just my life calling. It's meant to be. Maybe that's.
What's funny is Candace wears Crocs, and I make fun of her, but she says they're the comfortablest things. I'm like, dude, they're so ugly. She wears them everywhere.
Right. I believe it.
See, I would love to go to Puerto Rico. I think.
Yes, I'm really jealous. My dad just went about a year ago now, and none of us went with him. He went with one of his really good friends for like just a random weekend while he was down in Florida working. And they were like, let's go to Puerto Rico. That's where one of his best friends is from. So they flew out there and stayed at his family's house. And my dad said it was absolutely beautiful. And I said, so you casually flew to Puerto Rico while I was in the middle of conditioning week, running all weekend, and didn't eat any real food because the cafeteria was closed. But you went to Puerto Rico. Okay. Yeah.
No, it's right when I started college. All of a sudden, the next thing, I'm paying for it myself and all that kind of stuff and scholarship. Right. And also, the next thing I know, my whole entire family, my siblings, everyone except me, went on a cruise, and I never got to go. Wow. I'm like, what? It's just like, well, you're not there, so we can afford it. I'm like,
you're not there. And it's funny. My mom is actually, she gives me crap because when I come home for Christmas break or anything like that, she notices that I'm home because the grocery bill instantly just skyrockets. So she said, when you're not here, we save so much on groceries that we can afford to do fun stuff.
All right. Would you rather have to be naked at work for an hour or eat a medium rare steak with blue cheese melted on the top? I think I'm funny. This is not all that matters.
Given the fact that I work at a coffee shop right now, I think myself and the customers would very much appreciate if I had clothes on at all times. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to have to eat this steak as well. I don't think steaming milk and espresso flying around and grinders and coffee beans and me being naked, I don't think that's a great idea. So I'm going to go ahead and, for my own safety and everyone else's, just to kind of keep everybody as unawkward as possible, I think I'm going to go ahead and eat the steak. That would be an interesting coffee shop. I'm not sure I'd make too many sales after, my first
You get lots of tips.
Yeah, hopefully. Maybe it might work. I don't know. It could be like a Magic Mike thing that ends up being really profitable.
Right. It's only in Vegas, though.
Right. Yeah. In Vegas, probably.
Or Bourbon Street. Holy crap.
Oh, I believe it. I believe that for sure.
All right, last question. Would you rather not wear socks to bed or eat a medium rare steak with blue cheese? Tell everyone about your story first, how you're weird.
Yes. So for those of you guys who don't know, I am a sock fanatic, I guess would be the best way to put it. You will never catch me barefoot unless I'm in the shower, and I hope you wouldn't catch me there or on the beach. But I am like, as soon as I'm out of the water, it's socks back on and ready to go. I will bring 25 pairs of socks to the beach and get sand in all 25 pairs. I don't care. I do not like being barefoot at all. If I could invent one thing, as awesome as it would be to cure cancer, I think I might selfishly consider making waterproof socks for the shower. That would be my go-to invention, I think.
Well, in a dorm room when you have multiple people using the same shower,
in a dorm, it's a little more.
But wearing socks to bed is
weird. I will always have socks on, and that includes going to bed. And the highlight of my morning is when I get up first thing in the morning and I get a new pair of socks on.
That's your highlight. You get all emotional.
Yeah, it's something about picking a fresh pair of socks out of the dresser drawer and throwing them on in the morning. It just really makes my day. And so I absolutely love having socks on, and you'll never catch me barefoot. I think my mom can probably count on her single hand how many times she's seen me barefoot in my life. I always have socks on. And no, for anybody curious, I do not have like a foot. I'm not a foot freak. I'm not a footophobia. I don't know what you would even call it. I'm not against feet. I don't care if other people are barefoot. I just hate being barefoot, and I don't have ugly feet either. That's the other question that I get asked a lot. If I just have ugly feet, and I'm ashamed of them. Mine actually aren't that bad, especially considering I'm a college athlete. Right? Yeah. See, people who are barefoot more often, or college athletes, typically have some pretty ugly feet. Mine aren't that bad. And I've seen and compared mine to some of my teammates in the locker room. I'm nowhere near bad.
You just paint them? Do you paint your nails, and that's why you wear socks?
I don't. No, I know that's another belief that probably Chris put out there. That wouldn't surprise me. That sounds like a thing he might suspect. But yeah,
see, maybe it's a bigger thing. I just think it's so weird that you wear them to bed. I don't. The sock thing is totally fine. It's weird to go to bed.
My deepest fear is when I travel is that I'm not going to have enough socks, and like I'll forget to have a pair of socks ready for bed, and I'll have to sleep barefoot in a hotel one night or something, because I don't think I could sleep without my socks on.
Do you ever wear socks the same multiple days in a row?
No, I don't. One, I showered a ton because we were always doing workouts and sweating, so that would be super gross.
It would be.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to each their own.
I'm just saying, if you ever ran out of socks, like,
right. But no, it's funny because I have I have 2 dresser drawers in my room, and this is in the dorm room, so you might be like, 2 drawers, that's not that big of a deal. When you only have like 4 in all of your room because you got to pack light, I think half of what I brought were socks alone. So
this is how I feel about it. I'm like, I get claustrophobic if I had socks on while I was sleeping.
I can't. Like, I do not like the feeling of like just the air in between my toes. If it's
and that's the best
thing. My feet touching each other, I can't. I just can't do it.
So when you're swimming and stuff, you have socks on?
If I normally have water shoes. We typically go to the lake or the ocean, and we'll take a boat out down in Florida, and I have water shoes. So at least there's on my feet, but I can't. Like if I can have water shoes or slides on in the ocean, that's what I'll do, because I just hate being barefoot.
Well, so obviously, what's your answers?
Yeah, the long way to say I would most definitely eat the steak before I have to go without socks. There's no chance of me. No, none. I'd eat 2 steaks. I'd probably eat one for a week straight if I had to, and I can't give up socks. I just couldn't do it.
Oh man. So question is, your girlfriend have to wear socks in bed, or is it okay if she doesn't wear socks?
It's okay if she doesn't. She typically doesn't wear socks anyways. She's very girly and likes to have the manicures and the pedicures, and her toenails are always painted bright colors, and so she likes showing off her feet. She says she has cute feet all the time, or apparently. I'm not sure what makes feet cute, but yeah, so if she wants to be barefoot, that's fine. I'm not going to kick her out of bed if she doesn't have socks on. Like I said, I don't have a problem with other people's bare feet. It's just I hate being barefoot. So
Well, I truly appreciate you coming on, man. We went 25 minutes longer than normal, but
I
I
know.
was really enjoying talking to you. It's been
I know.
a while.
It's been far too long, so it's been great catching up and getting to have a great conversation with some great people in the chat. So I'm glad I was able to be here. Thank you again for having me on. It was an awesome time, and I really, really appreciated getting to talk to you and catching up after, like I said, a long overdue conversation. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And with that, everyone, I hope you guys have a wonderful and safe night. Have a fun work week, and we'll see you here next Sunday.
Yep. Take it easy, guys.
All right. See you guys.